Taking a bite out of hunger. Each day, tens of thousands of people in Southwest Florida struggle to feed their families. In today's show, we're digging in, partnering in a major undertaking to satisfy the hunger. Beginning with an appetite for giving. Donations to food banks dry up in the summer, but the need remains high. It's the driving force behind a new campaign to stock the shelves.
There are people who just don't have enough food, don't have the resources to get the food. So any opportunity that we can have to go out and bring people together and help them address an issue that's really important.
Then they're ground zero for donations. Local food banks, which could be quietly helping your neighbors, coworkers, people you come in contact with daily. We go behind the scenes in Food for Thought.
We're very proud of the amount of fresh produce that we were able to provide to the community here from the food bank. Last year, we provided over 6.5 million pounds of fresh produce to people throughout Southwest Florida.
Plus, the local charity auction is recognized as tops in giving. In Grape Achievement, we talk about plans for Naples Wine Fest. Finally, we'll switch gears and stop by a rodeo for bus drivers. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Those stories plus a commentary from Alan Bartlett are coming up. Welcome back to Behind the Headlines. The goal is to keep cupboards and stomachs properly filled, especially during the lean summer months. We're proud to partner in launching a new campaign to satisfy the hunger. It was an idea born of necessity. Even in this land of plenty, plenty of people are scrimping to get by.
When you really get to know the community and what's underneath it, sure, you find the pockets of people who really have a lot of need.
Mary Beth Geyer is a regional coordinator for the Schultz Family Foundation. The founder of Best Buy, Richard Schultz, calls Collier County home and supports causes that strengthen the community.
There are people who just don't have enough food, don't have the resources to get the food. So any opportunity that we can have to go out and bring people together and help them address an issue that's really important.
The foundation is one of 3 campaign partners committed to matching funds for Satisfy the Hunger. Community Foundation of Collier County spearheaded the drive.
I think we're hoping to raise somewhere around $250,000. We've got 70 or so plus dollars that will be match dollars.
Each week, the campaign will focus on different targets, from food and kid snacks to baby basics and personal products, also cleaning supplies. Items considered staples can become luxuries.
Like laundry soap. That's an expensive item. Toilet paper, a necessity, but a very expensive item. So we want to actually get some of those items in hand to be able to hand to the food pantries so that they can hand them out all summer.
Summer is a particularly parched time of year for food banks. Donations drop while need does not. Fact is, workers in the service industry often find their hours cut and income along with it. Funds raised during the spring drive will benefit 7 local agencies.
If we can raise that $250,000 and we can divide that amongst the 7 pantries, that will be a nice chunk of money that we will give them June, July, and August in a 3 split, so that they have money every month to purchase things they need.
The agencies that you've decided to support through this campaign, were they pretty happy to hear of this news?
Oh, they were so excited. They were excited to be a part of it. They were excited that everyone was recognizing the need and wanted to do something about it.
And it all started with an appetite for giving. In a community associated with wealth, it may not be apparent that a great many people do not have enough food. They include the jobless, the underemployed, the working poor, the elderly struggling on fixed incomes, families challenged by ever-growing bills. We're taking you behind the headlines to the Harry Chapin Food Bank to see how your donations add up.
The Harry Chapin Food Bank is part of the National Feeding America Network, and we cover Charlotte County, Lee County, Collier County, as well as Hendry and Glades counties over into the Everglades. This is our volunteer sort area. This is the area where a lot of our food comes. We raise food from a variety of sources that comes through this area. It might be coming in from a retail store, your local Publix or Walmart. It might be coming in from a food drive that somebody did at your church or your school. All of that food has to be sorted.
I started volunteering at the Harry Chapin Food Bank. It'll be coming up 2 years this August. It's very, very heartwarming to be here and go home at the end of the day and realize everything that I've accomplished to help others in need.
So this is our warehouse area, and you can see a huge variety of product. We're getting product from food drives and other sources. We're getting product from local retailers. We're getting product from major national brands and warehousers and distribution companies. This is really the core of what we do, and this is what the community helped us build. Last year we shipped over 18 million pounds of food out of this place. That food went to all of those agencies, which might be a residential program, it might be your local church pantry, lots of different kinds of programs. That enables them to stretch their very limited budgets so that they can concentrate on doing what they do, which is serving people in need in our community. And we're the ones who have trained professional staff who are taking the money that we're given and going and finding 18 million pounds of food to distribute to them at very, very low cost so that they can concentrate on what it is that they do in serving the people that they need to serve. That enables them to serve far more people than they would otherwise be able to do. This is a great example of what we do with volunteers, and it's a great example of how important volunteers are to us. The volunteers you see behind me are all sorting produce. They're sorting produce that we got in from growers locally. This produce will all go out absolutely free to the agencies that we serve.
I've been volunteering at Harry Chapin for the last 5 years and enjoying every minute of it. I'm giving something back to the community. The community doesn't owe me anything, but I guess I owe the community something.
We're very proud of the amount of fresh produce that we were able to provide to the community here from the food bank. Last year, we provided over 6.5 million pounds of fresh produce to people throughout Southwest Florida. So this is our produce storage area. We have 4 different temperature and humidity zones. Different kinds of produce require different kinds of handling. We have meat that needs to stay frozen. We have other hard vegetables that like to be near freezing. Some produce wants to be kept moist, others wants to be kept dry. As I said, we have over 6.5 million pounds of different kinds of produce that we provide annually, and it's great stuff. We have carrots, we have apples, we have sweet corn, we have potatoes, we have onions, we have green peppers, we have all kinds of produce of various kinds. This is our agency shopping area. And this is a great place to talk about how hard we work to serve people in our community. We've found over the years that we frequently get things that don't fit neatly into a category. That we get an odds and ends of something, we may get something in an oddball size. And so when our agencies come in, they have an opportunity to shop through here while they're in our place and look to see if we have anything else that we've received from the community that they can make use of. And that's why we are very proud of how hard we work and how much we accomplish. Every dollar that we're given, we put 97 cents back into the community in the form of programs and food. That's enabled, we've been doing that for many, many years. We work very hard to be as efficient and good stewards of the money that we receive. We have a Charity Navigator 4-star rating. That's the highest rating you can get on Charity Navigator because we really care about our mission to feed people in Southwest Florida.
There's no shortage of giving in Southwest Florida, where people are known for opening their hearts and wallets. One of the area's premier charity events, the Naples Winter Wine Festival, is getting a major accolade in return. Call it a grape achievement. The Over-the-Top Wine Fest is once again the nation's top charity wine auction, according to Wine Spectre magazine. It's a familiar position. The Naples event topped the list for 10 out of the last 15 years, raising $146 million for local children's charities since 2001. How do you top that? Well, you go even bigger. 4 couples are co-chairing the 2017 Wine Fest, and they're already busy.
We only try to do one-of-a-kind experiences, one-of-a-kind travel packages, and only the best and most rare wines. So when you have all of that as a combination, I mean, you're going to have excitement and you're going to have high bids.
Well, you know, it's always wonderful to be number one. However, we don't really strive for that. It's really more about the kids and what we're doing for the kids. And knowing that we're number one really just enforces the amount that we can pass out to the charities and grant them so that they can continue the work that they're doing for our community.
And hot on their heels, the Lee County-based Food and Wine Festival ranked 4th on the same list. The biggest winners are the groups which benefit from these proceeds. When we come back, Alan Bartlett shares what's on his mind, and later, a real talker, a local lady with a gift for gab. Tomorrow we'll kick off a series of events dedicated to the Satisfy the Hunger campaign. We'll be following them closely at the Daily News, as well as reporting on how you can get involved. With more on that, here's our Editor's Corner.
Yes, Amy. We here at the Naples Daily News are very proud to partner with the Richard M. Schultz Foundation, United Way, and the Community Foundation of Collier County to address what some people don't realize is the need for people to have food during these summer months. We're also wanting to help people have a greater awareness of hunger in general, not just filling our food pantries and helping provide and fill the gap for people to have access to food, but what is causing hunger in the first place. And so over the next 7 weeks, not only are we going to open our doors for people to be able to bring in food and other supplies that our partner organizations will benefit from, but to also read stories and understand better the needs in our community, what some of the causes are, and what some of the things can be done to prevent that, and how they can participate in the greater good. It ties so much to our mission of improving and strengthening community, and we're proud to kind of make this a marquee event project, if you will, for the Naples Daily News, to go along with the many other things we support in general. So we couldn't be more proud of the partners coming to us and asking for our partnership, and we're glad to do it, but also the benefit that our partner organizations will receive.
Throughout the show, we've been sharing facts about hunger in our community. It's not always where you'd expect to find it. Children and the elderly represent the biggest need and are the most likely to be considered food insecure, meaning they don't have adequate diets. In our weekly Street Beat feature, we hit the road to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
I think it's very important to take care of our brothers and sisters, make sure they have plenty to eat, look out for them.
And I think there are a lot of communities, people think that there's a lot of wealth, and even if there is, that doesn't mean everybody has what they need.
There's poor people everywhere. We know that people need to eat, we know it, and we're going to do something with the food when we leave. We've read in the paper that there's, yes, some places.
I think it's much better for us, for we who have more than others, to give to them through churches, through other organizations, through giving extra money at the grocery store, in any way to help. I do not believe in government handouts.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, though, that people be surprised that there is a need, even in a place like Collier County, where there's wealth?
There may be people who are surprised, but those of us who've lived here for a while know that there are plenty of people who need help.
We're just visiting, but I got to figure that everywhere there's a need for it, whether it's just right in this immediate area or not.
And what are your thoughts on it? Because some people feel it's the government's problem to take care of that stuff, but there's also, it's a nice idea for people to help each other in the community, or what are your thoughts?
No, I think it's our job, our responsibility as humans to take care of each other. That's why we're here.
Well, you know, being in the military and traveling the world, I see a lot of helping and giving to other nations, but I see a lot less giving to our nation, and that bothers me. You know, I mean, we shouldn't have to drive down to the South, or it doesn't have to be the South, where you see children are looking for food or looking for the proper shelter or clothing. It shouldn't be that way, not in our country. You know, we're the greatest nation, I think, on this planet, and the richest one, and yet we're struggling, it seems like, with just trying to take care of our own.
With an insatiable desire to get the conversation started, here's Alan Bartlett with our weekly commentary.
If you're hungering for opinions, the editorial board at the Naples Daily News sure has them. Here's a recap of some of those we've served up in recent days. Sugar was on our plate, specifically spending part of an afternoon with representatives of U.S. Sugar who say they've been unfairly criticized as the cause of pollution going down the Caloosahatchee River and St. Lucie Canal from Lake Okeechobee discharges. They suggested to us it isn't a good idea to buy more land south of the lake to store water before it's sent off to the Everglades and Florida Bay. We think they made some good points about the need for more attention to water storage and stormwater projects in areas south of Orlando but north of the lake. Even so, we agree with the approach of Congressman Kurt Clausen, who has proposed the Everglades Land Acquisition Act that would identify another piece of property south of the lake for future storage of water so it can be cleaned up before it's sent into the Everglades. While federal and state money is needed to complete projects already designed, land isn't going to get any cheaper, and it may not even be available if the government waits much longer. Clausen is also urging Congress to speed up reinforcing the dike around the lake. The region and state would be wise to get fully behind Clausen and let him lead the efforts to address this critical issue. We also weighed in on the good news about the state's latest scientific count of the black bear population, which has increased more than 50% in the past decade. We think more work needs to be done before Florida holds another bear hunt, and the focus still should be on how we can better manage ways to keep bears from wandering into neighborhoods to look for food. On another animal-related front, we're pleased Florida is going to develop rules requiring the reporting of injuries to racing greyhounds. It was sad that Florida was one of 2 states that hadn't required this before. We still think the legislature has more to do, however, in addressing gaming issues in the state. That's a sampler platter of our editorials. To read about what we're thinking and to join in the conversation, go to naplesnews.com.
Thanks, Alan. You're always welcome to add your thoughts on this or any other topic by dropping us a line or leaving a comment on Facebook. Still to come, putting their driving skills to the test. Transit drivers from around the state are vying for bragging rights and a road trip to the national competition of their peers. We'll take a look when we come back. Now, a heads up on this next story. If you're one of those people who get creeped out by ventriloquist dolls, then look away. Brenda Stelzer is no dummy, but her plastic puppet George is, and a sassy one at that. They make the rounds together at Mel's Diner locations in Naples and Bonita Springs.
Well, we brought our husbands today just to see you. Oh, that's too bad.
That's not nice. Sorry, George has no manners.
No, I got them. They're just not good.
Gotta love those crazy eyebrows. Brenda is taking their show to a much bigger audience. This summer, she'll be attending the International Ventriloquist Convention and was asked to be one of 4 female presenters. Big names like Jeff Dunham will also be there. And finally, a few weeks back, we featured a Collier teen who was working her way up the rodeo circuit as a barrel racer. Well, this week, we're taking a different spin. They call this a rodeo. Bus drivers from across Florida trucked it to Fort Myers to show off and compete in a Triple Crown event. Testing their skills were drivers of large buses along with maintenance techs who were put on the clock to identify and fix engine problems and get their buses running. The drivers took to the course in a skills test, maneuvering tight turns while trying to avoid running over those pesky cones.
The course is very tight. It was something that I never did before because we never drove 25 or 35 footers. We only drive 40s, 42s, 60s, and MCIs.
So how big was the bus you drove today?
The bus we drove today was 35 footers.
So it's smaller than
It's a smaller bus, so the course got smaller. And we was trained on a 40-foot course. So it was really good. It's really something different.
30 teams took part, hoping to win another road trip for their effort, that being entry to their national competition. That's our cue to hit the brakes on this show. Thanks for sharing your Sunday morning with us. If you would like to rewatch or share this episode or learn more about events or ways to take part in the Satisfy the Hunger campaign, log on to our website. That's naplesnews.com. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.